Hello everybody, lovely to be here again, lovely to see all the faces. I've tried to prep this, what I'm going to say today, but like always my guides have complete different ideas. So once I worked out my wonderful prep for today and the topic, they go like, nah, we're not going to do that. So I thought, okay, I'll bring it along. It's more kind of like window dressing, but I don't think we're going to really get there. But let's see where it takes us. First of all, what's happening is like, it feels very springy at the moment, even though we're in the middle of winter, which is actually a good thing. But then lately as well with the people that I work with, which I'm very blessed with, because everything that we deal with comes and goes like in waves. And it doesn't matter who we are, which backgrounds we're from, or what our family situation, we are experiencing very similar things, different phase, different place, but the content and very, very similar things. So, and at the moment, it's this whole thing of people feeling stuck. It's kind of like the confusion. It's like it's supposed to be winter, but it actually feels like spring. So we're like kind of like between the big and thick jerseys and fleece jackets, and like, oh, today it's shorts and flip-flops. So it's about, and this is literally what our journey is about as well. We might prepare for winter, and then all of a sudden, all the nice summer clothes are packed away, and it's like we've got days like this, 28 degrees. We kind of like, it's not supposed to be that way. So I rather put my warm clothes on, because the other ones are actually packed away. I rather sweat a bit before I'm going to be flexible enough to just open this one box or one bag where you have a few t-shirts on top of it. But we won't do that. So we're going to force our wardrobe, in this case, into the weather, and we suffer by it. And why I use this example is, we keep on doing stuff simply because that's how it's being done. We simply do stuff because we think it's being expected, or this is the role I took on 10 years ago, so I can't change it now. I mean, who am I to change a role? But what we don't realize is we've grown in so many ways in that time frame. And one day we do feel like winter, and the other day we do feel like summer, and the other one we're not too sure, so we stay like in the autumn thing and check it out. But we have to have that flexibility. Only because it says winter does not mean it's going to be minus 10 degrees every day. So is it any less of a winter? No, it isn't. So far it's a very kind winter. So it doesn't mean that it can't change that. But that also comes to, we are so busy checking outside what the weather is like and what's going on, and checking outside what the expectations are, checking outside what our roles are, in order to then adapt what we do, instead of doing it the other way around. I mean, glimpse through the window, cold, warm, fine. I can still throw a jersey into the car. I can layer, makes me flexible, but don't wear your skiing clothes out and then you're going to be hit by 25 degrees. And this is where we need to be more flexible with our own lives. It's a typical thing, and I'm generalizing now, is being a mom. I'm a mom, so I have to 24/7 be there. Yeah, well, they need that when they're small like that, because they're just very limited at what they can and cannot do. But then those are like that, 20, 23, 24, guess what? We're still hoovering. They're still our kids. We still love them to bits, but they've grown, we've grown. But what happened in the meanwhile is we started identifying ourselves through the roles. And we don't know who we are anymore. Because all I've done for the last 20 years is being a mom. And it doesn't matter if it's about being a sister, if it's about being an employee, if it's about being a humanitarian. It doesn't matter what tag you put on that. It becomes about anything and everything else but you. And then you get to a point where like the kid's like, thanks mom for bringing me up, all good, hunky-dory, I'm going to go see the world now. I'm going to be like, hang on the beach in Thailand for a few years and have fun. And mom was like, and where am I? Now my sole purpose of existing for the last 20 years just walked out the door. Happily, so I've done my job, but I'm like, and who am I? Who's left? We've learned, and we've been taught as well, and I'm not just talking mothers, I'm using that as an example, that we have to live our life through what the outside is bringing us in. It's about the things that are expected. It's also we being taught that everybody else got to be okay before we are okay, before we even dare taking time to even think about being okay. It has to be Tom, Dick, and Harry, and the kids, and the wife, and the husband, and the boss, and the neighbors, and whatever church you belong to, or other groups. They're all got to be happy. And once they're all happy and balanced, I'm going to be in a good space. Now, how is that supposed to happen? Because you are wearing so many hats that by the time this one is balanced, this one has moved The only one not moving is you, because you're doing this, jumping from one to the other, trying to keep the balance there. Again, what we're not looking at is, if you are the provider of so much balance in so many different areas for so many different people, where on earth are you getting your energy from? This is the one thing you don't look at. But then we sit still and we have a cup of tea and instantly go like, I should rather be prepping dinner. I should rather make sure. We feel guilty to sit down for 5 minutes to actually restore a fraction of our energy, because really those 5% that I've just replenished, I should have already pumped it out times 10 to someone else, of course. That is back to front and absolutely not sustainable. If you look nowadays as well, our bodies are rebelling against it as well because of the mind, body, and soul triangulation we have. If we're out physically, the mind and the body will try to help out to keep it all balanced. If the emotional is out of sync, the body and the spirit will try. So they're constantly trying to keep each other balanced, but we do not give them the energy nor the rest or consideration to do so. So sooner or later, they're all going to run short. And then we have things, back problems, insomnia. Cancer has never been as crazy as it is nowadays. Why? Cancer is ultimately, from a metaphysical point of view, us refusing to take care of ourselves because it's all out there. So our bodies are already yelling at us, and we kind of like, yeah, I must just try to, and then I might go to the doctor, I might have some rest, or I might take some time out, might. At the same time, it's also, we cannot walk our journey as long as we're so busy walking everybody else's. Firstly, we don't get our part out of it, and this whole system of energies like lessons and all of that repeat themselves till we learn it. And if we don't even attempt to learn our own, but busy making sure others learn theirs, it's not just holding up our journey, but theirs too. Only because somebody cooks for you 24/7 and you get a great meal does not mean now you know how to cook, you know how to eat. So us constantly walking other people's journeys, and as good as the intent is, by all means, it is actually more damaging than good on both sides. Or I'm really teaching on the other side, it's like, don't worry, I keep on cooking for you. And one day I walk out of this picture, for whatever reason, this person doesn't know where to get the food from. Or will end up really crap food because they don't know how to make proper food. So either way, who is winning? No one is winning. And the moment we go like, we tell other people all the time, you've got to have a rest, you've got to have a break, look at you, you're all stressed, and obviously your body also needs, well, that's good and right and all, but we're not applying it to ourselves. And then when I said, what about you having a rest? What about you just taking an afternoon off? Oh, no, I've got to that, and that. Which then comes down to as well, how authentic are we actually with caring for everybody else and wanting the best for everybody else, but we have no clue what it looks like, what it feels like, what it smells like, or how even to get it. So again, we come from a good place, but how authentic is it? You need to have a break. You need to look after yourself. You really deserve that. Right, this is what I tell you. This is what I do, but this is what I need you to do because I know it's the right thing, but let me apply it there till again everything out there isn't balanced, that then I can finally one day might get to the point to apply it. And then that day comes and we have no idea how to apply it to ourselves. And then because we have no idea who we are anymore, how to apply it, or even where to start, we go straight back on what we always knew. It's the good old patterns of, again, doing it for everybody else. So this is about you. It's about nurturing yourself. It's about being self-wish. That's like one of my favorite words. Selfish is like the moment we feel guilty because we look at ourselves, it's like, I can't do it. It's going to be selfish. There's so much to do. If I take the afternoon off, and even just if I read a book and have a cup of tea, which is like entry level of looking after yourself, you're already kind of like, no. But then again, why not? Why do we feel instantly guilty? Because we've been taught, if you look after yourself over others, that's selfish. That's not good. That's not acceptable. because you are also not of maximum benefit to everybody around you. And then what are they going to think? Da, 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 da. So there goes this whole thing. The neighbors might think I'm lazy if they see me sitting on my balcony at 2 o'clock in the afternoon having a cup of tea. And that is going to rock my world. How? And it's going to make, what do they know about my life? And we might know them, they might be a friend of ours. There's only one person being in your shoes. There's only one person walking your journey. Well, it should be only one person walking your journey. But again, we're everybody else's. We make sure the partners are okay, the kids are, they are okay. But are they really? We mean okay, but how much are we actually taking away from the journey with walking it for them? They have to redo it anyway. It's their journey. They have to walk every step. If they walk it now in 5 years and 10 years, I promise you they're going to have to walk that step. So if you do it now and you just drag their time frame out, or if you say like, you know what, I'll back you up, that's fine, but you're going to have to walk. And then we have kids that have or young people that have absolutely no vision, no idea. Well, they didn't have to. Their visions, their ideas, their environment, their actions within it, the choices, was provided for them. We can never ever have anybody unhappy. Why not? You don't want them permanently unhappy and depressed, but unhappy is the opposite of happy. And everything exists in duality. If I don't know the one, how do I know the other? And if I don't know the one, how do I know what to do when I'm in the other one and I want a budget? It doesn't work that way. Everything is neutral until we attach something to it. Every feeling is just that, a feeling. Everything that happens around it is neutral. Again, it's what we attach to it. There is no wrong, there is no right, but what there always is duality. A up has a down, an in has a out, a day has a night. Happy has sad. And any other emotion along the way, but we want to so overprotect that we don't allow to experience anymore. And also, we are in every other place but in the here and now. One day when I get there, then I'm going to be that. Once I have that job, then I'm going to feel like that. Once I can afford this, then I'm going to be in a much better situation to do that. And then it happens, and by then the next, once that has built up. So we never get there. It's always once. So it's always future related, so we never get to that point. And our brain ain't our friend in that one half of the time. Actually, at half the time, she's really screwing us over. Because our gut and our instincts knows very well when we had enough, knows very well when we need a break. We obviously overrun it with our wonderful brain, and the brain is a good thing to have, but it needs to know its place. A brain is there to help you execute where your soul is leading you, but we're being taught and we're using it to question it all the time. And this is where we get stuck. And then we keep on falling in habits and patterns that we know they're no good for us, but we repeat them because the brain says, we know how this works, let's just go there. And then off we go again and get the same results. Yet in the meanwhile, our energy levels are down, we get more edgy, we get more frustrated, we get more angry, we get more unhappy, we get more depressed. But it's like, since I don't have a new plan, and I don't really want to get out of my comfort zone, because what we know is comfort zone, if it's good or not. Once we repeated it often enough, your brain will keep it. That's that. And then it's like, really, when we want any kind of change in that, we have to trust our instincts. And by then we've learned, pardon, that this is not really something we can trust. That's what the brain tells you anyway. It's the furthest from the truth. And this is the brain being above the soul. And it's not meant, it's a hell of a tag team, those two, but in the right combination. And it's like going into a rally. You have a guy that drives the car, and at next to it you have the guy telling him which direction to go. Together, perfect team. They won't crash. The one has the driving skills, the other one has the navigation skills. Change those two. The next tree looks very quickly in your face right now. Nothing wrong with each individual skills or what they are, but if they're on the wrong spots, they work against you. Are we in the right spots? Are we in everybody else's life? Or are we in our own? Are we more worried about what everybody else feels, thinks, perceives? And with that also what happens a lot is we attach how we feel about how other people react to us. And that's a dangerous game, because then we're forever going to be reliant on how the outside works, thinks, feels, does, in order to establish who we are within that. And again, that's back to front. It's kind of like when you throw a stone into a pond, it ripples out, because my energy goes out and the universe or the world around me responds accordingly. Not everybody's going to like it, but the good thing is there's a few billion people in the world, so the chances are good that there's enough around you. And the others are not your frequency anyway. But we can't say to the pond, ripple first, and then I tell you where I want to put my stone. But that's what we're doing. And with that, because the ripples will never be in a way that they're going to suit you, you're going to forever hold that stone and not throw it. And with that, we're stuck in the same spot again. We've got to bring it back. It's got to be about us. The more authentic we walk and the more authentic we live, automatically this is what we're going to put out there. Automatically our kids, colleagues, partners, whoever is important in your life, it will cause a ripple effect. It's like if somebody's constantly mad and angry around you, and you sooner or later buy into the whole thing and you react with the same, you're going to get more of what you don't want. But nothing ever overruns free will. Things can only be around us if we either created them, allow them, or feed them. And if there's anything, anyone around you that brings constant negative responses in you, it's time to look at those three. Stop feeding it, stop creating it, stop allowing it. It cannot exist otherwise. But we've got to stop outlaying it. Our happiness can't be out there, it's here. Our balance can't be out there, it's here. They can contribute and add on, but it cannot be created out there. And this is why we often lose our footing. Because then the people that we need to be balanced in order for us to feel halfway good, they have a bad day, we're thrown out. There goes the ripple effect the other way around. I might have woken up with a perfectly fine, balanced attitude in the morning, and my significant other is like all grumpy and stuff. Now I have a choice and say like, either join in your grumpiness or I nag on you for being grumpy. How dare you be grumpy when I'm in a good mood? So it's like, it's my choice. So I can simply say, oh, I see you're grumpy. I don't want to have any of that. So have a nice day and see you later. I love you to bits, but I don't want that. And it's my choice. It's my choice to be part of that. I can still very clearly communicate. I do care, but this is why I'm not helping you to be even more grumpy right now, because who is winning? My good mood is gone, and I'm going to multiply yours on top of it all. Then even the dogs and the cats start scattering, and then it's like, but this is what energy is. So we've got to bring it back in. And I always say, your energy is yours, and what happens with it is your decision. We actually need to get a bit more cocky with our energy, because we let everybody plug into it, and if they don't plug into it, we volunteer it. And then before we know, you go like, oops, where's my energy? And there's still over half a day to go. It's yours. You decide where it goes, because half the time we're feeding the wrong stuff. And we know that we don't want to rock the boat. Well, boats are made to be rocked. They're supposed to be in waves. If boats don't want to be rocked, they shouldn't be in water. It's that simple. It is your energy. And if the boat doesn't like to be rocked around, it must find different waters. Boats can be transported. It's very simple. It is a two-way thing. It's not all about the outside to determine the inside. It's the inside that determines the outside. So own your energy and really get cocky with it. It's yours. And not everybody has to like it. And those that don't like it are the wrong frequency and energy around you. And yes, sometimes it might be family. Because family is normally there to teach us the biggest lessons, so yay. So it's kind of like we can't shake them, but there's a reason for it. It does not mean that we have to link into the negativity or what we perceive as negativity that they bring our way. So let me conclude that with a little saying right up from a lady, which I think just right straight to the heart. Her name is Angela Merkel. No, it's not the one in Germany, the politician. But may you remember your ability to choose what is deeply nourishing. May you ignite your power to make choices that align with your soul. And may you take action in the name of your authentic fire. And may you find the courage to heal, be free, and grow, simply because it's you. Thank you.